This grand edifice behind me could be mistaken for one of our country's magnificent cathedrals, but it's actually a parish church, which in the 15th century served a town of just 400 people. Find out why it's so big and indeed where I am in just a few moments. On today's show, we're helping two golf fanatics find a slice of rural heaven. But will any of our properties be up to par? At one house, we land in the rough. Not a huge bedroom, admittedly.
Yeah, a bit small, isn't it?
But then we get back on the fairway.
Wow.
That's a lovely room, isn't it?
Today, I'm in the town of Northleach in the Cotswolds, and this is the church of St Peter and St Paul. It's one of a series of impressive wall churches, so called as they're built on the proceeds of the wool trade. Now, back in the 15th century, the Golden Fleece was big business, and wealthy wool merchants would plough their profits back into local communities, bequeathing huge amounts of money to their local churches. Many, like the one here at Northleach, were extended or rebuilt to reflect the status of their wealthy parishioners. And it's the legacy of this medieval wool trade that today gives the whole of the Cotswolds its unique charm and character. The Cotswolds refer to a range of hills which lie between Bristol and Oxford and is the largest area of outstanding natural beauty in England. Covering 6 counties, around 80% is agricultural land, with sheep and arable farming the main activities. The area sits on a bedrock of Jurassic limestone, producing a rare grassland habitat which is quarried for the famous honey-coloured Cotswold stone. Many of the wonderfully preserved towns and villages developed when the wool trade was at its peak in the 15th and 16th centuries and have changed little in the last 300 years. Today, tourism drives the region, worth £1 billion a year to the Cotswold economy, with 20,000 jobs depending on it. One of the most visited towns is Bourton-on-the-Water, known as the Venice of the Cotswolds, and has over 100 listed buildings. According to a recent survey, house prices here in the Cotswolds are around 18 times the average salary for the area. And this is due in part to the growing demand for second homes here, which account for around 4% of all the property. Now, as you may expect, prices vary greatly across the region, but generally speaking, your budget will stretch further the further west or south you go, especially if you can look for houses just south of the M4 corridor. What's attracting today's buyers to this expensive, if not very beautiful part of the world? Let's meet them and find out. Married couple David and Jane met at university nearly 40 years ago, and they've lived in the London suburb of Mill Hill since graduating. Home is currently this 4-bedroom detached property that they own outright. But having both recently retired, they're now seeking a change.
Well, it's a good time to move now because I've retired last July, and it's just taken us 6 months to, sort out what retirement is like, and now we decided that London is too busy and time to go to find somewhere a bit quieter, a bit of a more laid-back lifestyle.
Jane ran her own successful IT business, and David was a history teacher at a nearby school for many years.
We don't tolerate the traffic around here, and whenever we want to go anywhere, you just have to pick your time to make sure you're not in a traffic jam.
As well as being closer to David's home country of Wales and Jane's mother in Somerset, the Cotswolds offer them the best of both worlds.
We want to move to the Cotswolds because it's beautiful. We love the valleys, we love the undulations, we love the fact that it's a very varied countryside, and it's convenient for everything in England and Wales.
Although they've now retired, they don't plan to put their feet up just yet.
For a long time I was a rugby player, and I coached a lot of rugby, up to about 5 years ago. In the meantime I took up golf, and Jane did too. She took it up, got a lot better than I did. We play a lot of golf now. We go on golf holidays, and moving to the country, hopefully we'll find a golf course nearby that we can continue doing that.
But we both like all sports, whether it be watching or playing.
And when they're not competing or spectating, David will find the time to indulge in his other big passions.
my background of history, I'd like to do a bit more doing that in the countryside and, find out more about local history. But also, it's time for me to do a bit more cooking. I've always, liked eating, and I'd like to do a little bit more cooking and maybe do a course in some sort of cookery and things like that now that I've got the time.
I'll support that.
Over the years, they've built up many friends in Mill Hill, and their biggest fear is starting all over again.
We've been in London a long time, and it's going to be difficult to move out, but all through my life I've set myself challenges. It would be very easy to stay around here and just carry on, but we want to do something new, something different, something enjoyable, which we think it will be.
David and Jane would like us to concentrate our property search in the central belt of the Cotswolds, close to the Gloucestershire market town of Stroud. I'm meeting them in the county to learn more about their proposed rural move. So welcome both of you to the beautiful Cotswolds. This is a very different life you're setting yourself out for, isn't it, Jane?
Very different, and we can't wait to get going on it, really.
So after such a long time in the same place, the same house, is it going to be difficult to cut those ties with all your friends?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, obviously, walking around Mill Hill, all the old boys that I taught are there, and all my friends I've made over 30 years. That's who I go and drink coffee with, and I know there's always somebody around. So starting to build
Drink
up...
coffee with? Come on.
Well, I do, yes,
Yeah?
in the mornings.
Now, anybody moving up to the Cotswolds, most people have the desire to live in a house built out of this beautiful Cotswold stone. I imagine you're no different.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, character house?
Yes, but all the nooks and crannies, we don't go for that. We don't want the low cottage feel. We want the, space is important. It's got to be light and airy.
Let's talk about the house itself. How many bedrooms?
3,
Three minimum?
Minimum, yes. But the space downstairs is more important to us than upstairs, really.
That makes sense.
We'd like a garden to sit out in and be able to have the sunshine, but we don't want much work in the garden. No, we don't want that at all.
Now, golf plays a big part in both your lives.
Yes.
So I imagine proximity to a golf club is at the top of the list, especially for you, Jane.
Yes, absolutely. At the moment, we're only 5 minutes away from our club, and that's great. It's really convenient. So we don't want to be sort of commuting 40, 45 minutes into a golf club.
Let's talk budget. What are we looking at?
We're looking at about £500,000.
OK. About?
It's
Up to.
It's not London, but houses are selling fairly quickly again up here. We've only got 3 chances, but I think we've got 3 crackers to show you. So let's start.
Let's go.
For a maximum budget of £500,000, David and Jane are after a character property with a minimum of 3 bedrooms. However, the downstairs space is more important to them, and they'd like 3 reception rooms as well as a south-facing garden. Finally, they'd like to be close to a golf club, not too far from amenities. We've lined up 3 characterful Cotswold properties to show our buyers, but they'll have to wait until the end of each tour before I reveal the price. Our third house, the mystery property, could leave our buyers brewing with excitement. So, do you think you have differing opinions on the house itself?
No, I don't think we do. We've been very lucky so far. In all the houses we've bought since we've been married, as soon as we've walked into the house, we've said, yes, this is for us, and we've both agreed.
What's made you say no? What's made you write places
As
off?
you say, it's so difficult. I couldn't tell. We couldn't tell you. In one place, it was the size of the bath.
Yeah.
Sorry, what? Could you not buy a new bar?
No projects, no DIY.
That's not a project. That's called a new bar.
No, it wouldn't fit in.
Our first property is found in a hamlet named The Vatch, 2 miles north of Stroud and a 20-minute drive from the nearest golf club. The neighbouring village of Slad is famous for being the home and final resting place of author Laurie Lee. He wrote the novel Sided with Rosie in the 1950s in his house in the village. The pub he frequented has changed little and has become a place of pilgrimage for many of his fans, as has the church where Laurie Lee is buried. Our first house, a period semi-detached property, is situated on the hillside overlooking the scenic Slad Valley. Now, the first property is often a bit of a learning curve for us all. Well, me, normally. Here it is. What do we think?
It's looks quite small. Is it 2 or...?
It is. It's semi-detached. We're looking at, obviously,
Oh,
the right-hand side. What's going through your mind, Jane?
nice to look out over fields. Great aspect. It does look quite small, but obviously it goes up into the roof.
Yeah, that's one of your guest bedrooms, if you like.
All right,
So,
okay.
let's see if you like it.
Good.
David and Jane seem a little reticent and were perhaps expecting something bigger for their budget. But I'm confident the interior of this deceptively large period Cotswold stone cottage will lift their spirits. In we come. Let's have a quick pause here. Now, kitchen.
Ah,
Nice.
yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect size for you, it is. Yeah.
Absolutely. Having this little area here to sit in while you're still working in the kitchen.
Yeah. It's got a slight bohemian style to it. You know, the person who lives here moved out of London, bought this house in the countryside and has done it over the last 3 years. So what you see is new floorings, new electrics, new pretty much everything, but it doesn't feel necessarily brand new, which I quite like.
It's lovely.
Now, behind you, that oak panel wall is a utility room with a wash-hand basin and all the white goods, which, again, helps get all that normal modern stuff out of the way of this nice kitchen, doesn't it?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
it's out of the way, leaving space.
Let's keep looking around.
That's really good.
OK.
Just mind your head here. Talking to Jane, not you, Dave. Now, you said you wanted to have a house where you could sit in the living room, maybe, and look out at views, nice and sunny. Is this the sort of place you had in mind?
It's very light in here, isn't it? I thought it would be darker back here with just that window on the side. But no, it's very light.
It is bigger than it looks outside as well.
Good.
More space, yeah.
I think what the owner's done, made a few touches that have made it just a lot more user-friendly, if you like. The owner's raised the fireplace there, which gives the fire a bit of draw, but also you get to see the features of the house a lot more straight away when you walk in, don't you?
Yeah, very much. You get the whole 2 rooms in one. It's very nice.
Better reactions to the ground floor living space. Upstairs there are 3 bedrooms spread over 2 floors. The first floor features 2 doubles, one of which overlooks the front of the house and has a small study area. There's also a family bathroom. But after our chat in the car, I'm keen to see if the bath is up to scratch. Now, I just want to quickly duck into this bathroom, because I understand this has been a sticking point in the past.
No, that's
yes.
big enough.
Yeah?
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Bath for you, Jane, shower for you, David.
Yes.
Actually, I'm going down a road I don't want to go down. Let's keep going. Come on, keep going.
We've been down these.
No, I don't want to know, do I? There's a 3rd bedroom up in the eaves of the house with a cosy space for a bed overlooking the hills behind. But we're staying on the 1st floor and what would probably be David and Jane's bedroom. So, not a huge bedroom, admittedly.
Yeah, but small, isn't it?
Nice view to wake up to, though.
Yeah. But it's a bit too small for what I'd like for a main bedroom.
I mean, downstairs, it's been knocked about a bit. Upstairs, it does have more cottagey dimensions and proportions, doesn't
Yeah,
it?
absolutely.
OK, let's go out to the garden and talk about price. All right?
Great.
The south-facing gardens are mainly to the front and side of the property and offer a variety of lawn areas and a sheltered terrace. So back outside. Now, you did say you don't want a big garden.
Yeah.
You didn't say, well, you also said you didn't want big upstairs, but that's probably a bit too small. So what do you think of this garden? Is it too small, or is this the sort of thing you had in mind?
This is the size I had in mind. This is fine.
Good.
Yeah.
OK.
Absolutely.
So after our brief look around this house, how much do you think it's on the market for?
Well, I think semi-detached, I would say 350.
399.
Right. This is on the market for offers around £450,000.
Right.
But you're paying for the proximity to Stroud
Yep.
Yeah.
and the rural position, which some people will absolutely love.
Yeah. And this is close to Slad, and it's Laurie Lee, and it's
got it.
that sort
Yeah.
of area. Yeah.
So, something to get your head around.
Definitely.
You haven't seen all of the house. I know it's not huge, but why don't you go back inside, have a good butchers around some of the areas you haven't yet seen, and then I'll meet you back out here whenever you're finished, and we'll go off to the next house.
Great.
See you in a moment. The price of our first property comes as a bit of a shock to David and Jane, even though it's £50,000 under budget. Situated in a sought-after location, the period cottage offers our buyers the downstairs space they're after, 3 bedrooms, and it's 20 minutes from the nearest golf club.
Gosh, this is bright.
Beams. How did you get underneath there? limbo.
I think the house is great. It's lovely. The decor's fantastic. The views are good. It's got the right aspect, but the proportions are just a bit too small. It would be useful to have another room downstairs.
It's got a nice feel to it. The kitchen's a good space, and the views out the windows are fantastic.
All done?
All done.
How'd you find it?
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
Bit small.
Bit small. Something a bit bigger next.
Yes,
Yes,
please.
please.
Okay, let's go and find it. One of the Cotswolds' most distinctive features is its stone, which colours the landscape in the attractive, well-preserved villages and market towns. The golden limestone has been quarried here since Roman times and is still used as a building material. Given David's passion for history and their dream of finding their own honey-coloured property, we've arranged for our couple to meet stonemason and sculptor Simon Britton to find out more about the geology of the locally quarried stone.
Oh, Simon, David.
Hi, David. Nice to meet you.
Hi, Jane.
Jane, welcome
meet
to
you.
Faze's Quarry. This is a typical limestone quarry you find in the Cotswolds.
How much stone comes out of here per day, per week?
It's about a 40-acre site. Average about 150 tonnes of stones taken out a week.
So what's so special about the stone?
It's a very good building stone. It has a good density and a good structure in the stone. You know, when they go together, it makes a good, strong building. As you can judge by the age of some of the towns and things, you know, hundreds and hundreds of years.
The Cotswold stone is an oolitic limestone made up of small grains and formed 160 million years ago in shallow tropical waters when Britain had a climate much like Bermuda today.
So this was an ocean. You know,
Millions of years
Yeah.
ago, we're actually in an ocean. And that's why you find so many fossils, this shell in here particularly. So you imagine that little shell's there.
Yeah.
He's died, he's just been washed backwards and forwards, and gradually he's been set into the stone and fossilised.
Because the stone is made up of small grains, it means it can be easily cut in any direction without shattering. So as well as being a good material for building, it's also great for sculpting. Over at Simon's workshop, David and Jane are being introduced to stone carving. The first step is to chisel a chamfered edge.
The mallet and chisel. This is traditional. This is all the way back to the pyramids. Now, you're right-handed?
Yes.
OK? Mallet in the right hand, chisel in the left hand, held like that. OK? So we just take the first part off. Don't go straight down to the line. You're just going to take some waste off of the top first, and then it's just a quick knock in with the chisel. That's it.
Brilliant.
So you never work off the end of a piece of stone because you risk breaking the piece of stone away at the end.
Okay.
So the process of the strike, each time to go back, place the chisel back, and to keep the angle of the chisel, the pitch of the chisel, the same.
It's quite soft, isn't it? It chips away quite easily. It doesn't take much pressure to get it off once you get the angle right.
Such is the distinctive appeal of the golden stone that a large proportion of the locally quarried material is exported internationally to countries such as Japan and the US. In the UK, you can see examples of the stonework in famous buildings like St Paul's Cathedral and the university buildings of Oxford, as well as in the Cotswolds itself.
Many of the old houses, they don't have a foundation. They're literally, because in lots of the Cotswolds, you only have to go down a foot. Yeah. And you'll find this when gardening in the Cotswolds. You only have to go down a foot and you're onto the rock.
Right.
It's there. So the houses were built straight onto the rock.
Well, thank you very much, Simon. That's very interesting. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Simon.
Thank you, David. Thank you,
Thank
Jane.
you.
For our second property, we're travelling 27 miles to the southern tip of the Cotswolds and the hamlet of Nettleton Shrub in the county of Wiltshire. It's a 5-minute drive from the heritage village of Castle Combe, which is often ranked as one of the prettiest in Britain. It's also where you'll find the nearest golf club. Nettleton Village itself has a community shop and post office, as well as a pub. Our second offering is found on a quiet village lane in a rural setting around a mile from the village centre. So property number 2 is a bigger affair.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
That's good news.
What do we think?
Oh, it's
Nice.
really nice, yeah.
Looks really
on the
nice.
outside.
Now, do you know where you are?
Yes.
Near
Good.
Castle Coombe.
Castle Coombe, exactly. So you're just over the motorway, which makes property a little bit more affordable, yet we are still within the Cotswolds.
Yep.
Very, very nice. I mean, a few houses around it and countryside.
I think it's great. And quite close to the village. We came through a nice village.
Good news. Let's go inside. A more upbeat reaction to our second property, a stone cottage, which the current owners have completely remodelled inside. So just as you come in, there's the downstairs cloakroom. Now, kitchen-wise, very different to the first place, isn't it?
Very. A lot more cupboards, a lot more workspace, nice size, room for a table.
I really like
Lovely.
it.
Now, the owners have been here, some 21 years, and they've done the place from top to bottom. Everything you see has been put in. This is the old part of the building.
Right.
And it would have been a worker's cottage for someone working on the Castle Coombe estate.
Okay.
Right.
The first house, the configuration
Yeah,
wasn't
it
quite
didn't
right for you, and I think you're going to find this place, each room is some 20-25% bigger, and I think that's going to give you that optimum size space.
Yes. Sounds like it.
I think your entertainment's going to take place just through here.
Oh.
Just mind the step.
Wow.
Light-filled rooms, you said you wanted.
Yes.
Perfect, isn't it?
Much more formal dining area, if you like.
Yeah.
That's nice.
And then I think this is a bit of a winter room. You'll have the sunroom there, which would be beautiful, wouldn't it?
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely, yeah. Yes, very,
Very nice
light
indeed.
and airy.
Very nicely done, isn't it? With the nice beams.
So is this the old house? Is this an extension?
The very old part is there.
Yeah.
The extension that was completed back in 2004 starts at that wall, and it's a green oak extension. You can see those lovely timber joints there. Funny thing there, it's quite traditional to a lot of people that work with wood. The joints, the last peg that you put into a beam is supposed to be knocked in by a maiden.
Oh, right. Yeah.
And so the owners of this house got their niece to come up from London and knock it in.
Oh,
They've observed tradition, and hopefully good luck will follow. So, good reaction so far. There's some interesting bits and bobs just through there, which we'll look at later on. Let me first show you the master bedroom just up here. There are 3 bedrooms in the original part of the house. 2 of those are doubles and overlook the back of the property. There's also a fully tiled family bathroom. The largest bedroom is dual aspect with views over the front. This is your master.
Much bigger than the last one.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Room to move about in this one. Yeah.
Is it big enough?
Yes, definitely.
Yes.
Great. Let me show you the other end of the house, which I think gives this place a pretty different kind of option for you.
Okay.
Good. After you.
As well as the bedrooms in the older wing of the house, there's a further room upstairs in the modern extension, which is accessed via the garden room. So this is an added extra, I think, this room.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh. Ah. Why?
Yes.
You could have it as a guest room because it's great to have separation. That's an ensuite shower room.
All right.
But what a lovely library or
Study.
Study, yeah. And south facing with that lovely glass gable. Is this the sort of place you'd think you'd go for so far?
Oh, definitely, yeah.
Yes.
Because it's got the 3 bedrooms. This is extra. And the living space, yeah. It's got it all, yeah.
Below the office, there's a garage with plenty of space to store the golf clubs. Outside, the garden is compact and low maintenance, with views over open countryside. On the surface, David and Jane appear to like our second property, but I have a feeling something is holding them back. The price guess is often a true reflection of how people really feel. So, how much do you think this house is on the market for?
I was pretty way out on the last one. But now we're down in Wiltshire, and it's just come down a bit. I'm
I'll
gonna
go first then.
Go
OK,
on.
you go first then.
425.
You go 45, OK.
Right.
I'll go 400. I'll go below you again.
You're getting worse at this game. This place is on the market for offers around £495,000.
Okay.
All right.
We're still within the Cotswolds.
Yes.
It's a 3 to 4 bedroom detached house
Yeah. True.
with a proper village nearby with a shop and
Yeah.
a pub.
Okay.
It's all right. It's a good price. I think that's a fair price for it.
Yeah. OK, well, look, I think one of the big things for you guys is what you're going to do with that room.
Yeah. Let's go and see.
Yeah?
OK,
All right.
Thanks.
See you in a moment.
See you in a row.
Well, on paper, this, I think, gives them just what they're after. It gives them the number of bedrooms, enough entertaining space, you know, storage for all the golf clubs, but low maintenance and a southern aspect garden. Their guesses on the price, however, leave me a little bit concerned. Just £5,000 under budget, our second property, an extended stone cottage, offers up 3 bedrooms, a large reception area, and it's just 5 minutes' drive from the golf club and the busy village.
The kitchen is a great size and you can still get a small table in it. And then the living space with the way it flows through to this sunroom is brilliant. And then there's this sunroom upstairs, which we need to argue over who uses it, really, because both of us think it's great.
Well, it's a lovely old cottage. It's been done up to a very high standard. It's very light and airy, and it's got a lovely feel to it. Very kind of homely, and like it very much indeed.
The thinking point really is exactly where it is, because I don't know this area as well as I know the more northern parts of the Cotswolds. But that's not a negative necessarily, it's just something that I think David and I need to just talk about and see what's around here.
Now then, have you come to a solution or fought over who uses that first floor sunroom?
No decision yet.
No decision. Decision pending.
Well, it's good that it's still a decision then, I suppose. Maybe
yeah.
something to talk about over dinner.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Let's go.
Let's go.
It's the second day of our property search, and on a budget of £500,000, we're helping David and Jane swap the sounds of the London suburbs for the peace of the Cotswolds. Coming up, the Mystery House puts on a show.
Oh, so what's behind the curtain then?
Any ideas?
A stage or something like that?
And I meet the bovine lawnmowers restoring a precious Cotswold habitat. Now, on reflection, I think yesterday's property number 2, we got everything pretty much spot on. It's certainly what they asked for, but I'm not convinced it's a house that David and Jane want to move to. And maybe that's because they're getting cold feet about moving from London to a much more rural location. So, in order to remedy that, today's Mystery House is slap bang in the heart of a village. But as you might expect, it does come with a couple of compromises. Firstly, it's just outside their ideal search area, and it's also close to a river. And after recent events in this country, that could well put some people off. What would you love it to be?
I think probably a bit closer to a bigger village or a town than the ones yesterday. Just so that we've got... It's not such a big step to move away from the city.
This is Escape's country, you know that, right?
I know.
For our Mystery House, we're heading north back into Gloucestershire and to Frampton-on-Severn, which, as the name implies, sits on the River Severn's eastern bank. Welcome, both of you, to Frampton-on-Severn. Have you been here before?
No, not at all.
Do you know anything about it?
Nothing at all.
Now, this village holds the accolade of the longest village green in England. All the way up there into the heart of the village,
Really?
some 22 acres in total. Now, the village itself has your post office and store, 2 pubs, coffee shop. It's almost like London, isn't it?
It's like being home.
Yes. What's going through your mind? Tell me. Concerns or...?
Well, we thought when we came across the M5 that we were in an area we hadn't looked at all.
No.
But now we're here. It's really nice. There's a nice feel to it.
Now, this is a part of the world, you know, it's Frampton-on-Severn.
So might we need a boat?
You don't need a boat.
Oh, well, the floodplains, give it a local...
Well, it's a good point you make. Areas around here have flooded in the past, but there is a canal in between this village and the Severn, which actually serves as a flood defence.
Right.
They're a mystery property. The first thing it's pushing you on is location.
It's
isn't it?
location,
Yeah,
definitely. Yeah.
It's further away from London.
Yeah.
And it's probably closer to Wales.
Yeah, close to your parents.
It's certainly true.
I'm a half-full man.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
Come with me. Let's see what you think of it.
OK.
Well, the location hasn't put them off, even though the nearest golf club is a 20-minute drive away. The house itself is located just beyond the village green, a stone's throw from the Gloucester and Sharpness Canal. and has an industrial heritage of its own. Right then. This is the Mystery House. The Mystery Malt House.
Malthouse.
Yeah.
Right. Nice courtyard here, isn't it?
This is your outside space. All right,
really?
the only outside space.
Okay.
South facing. Now, you don't get much less maintenance than this, do you? really?
Absolutely not.
Even we could do this.
Yeah?
Put
Yeah.
Some, put some pots on this, it'll be fine.
Perfect.
I love the fact you like it small.
Yeah. I love it.
Now, reports of this building date back as far as 1724.
All right. That's good history, then.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? I cannot wait to show you.
It looks huge.
All right, let's go inside.
Let's go.
As well as the lack of garden, this historical gem is Grade 2 listed and has an unusual layout inside. I just hope that David and Jane don't mind upside-down living. Come on in.
Wow.
Oof. Oh.
Quite some entrance hall, isn't
Yes.
it?
Oh, so what's behind the curtain, then?
Yeah, it does beg a question as soon as you walk in, doesn't it? Any ideas?
A stage or something like that?
No, pretty good guess. I'll tell you what, I'll show you before I get myself into hot water. Come with me. Not a stage as such, but the master bedroom. Right.
Oh.
Oh, wow.
Wasn't expecting that to be a bedroom.
A bedroom. A big bedroom.
Huge, isn't it?
Yeah.
This is currently being used as a holiday let.
Okay.
Right. Now, it's Grade 2 listed, but because it's an historic building, it came with a few stipulations. And one of those, at the time, 10 years ago when it was converted, was they couldn't put a partition in between this room and the entrance hall, hence the curtain.
All right.
Now, I think it works absolutely fine. I mean, that curtain's so heavy. If you so desired, I personally think you could certainly entertain putting glass through there. But as it is, I think it works absolutely fine. But it's up to you.
Well, it's certainly different, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's something to get used to, but it's not normal, but
No.
yeah, needs must sometimes.
It's almost as thick as some walls anyway, isn't it?
I've seen thinner walls. As well as the master bedroom, the ground floor also features an additional guest bedroom with ensuite. And one of the most impressive family bathrooms I've ever seen. This fabulous brick-vaulted room would have contained the kiln for the malting. Now, I just want to pause here momentarily. I'm nodding my head.
Yeah, very good idea.
Now, you mentioned you wanted different areas, well, almost like breakout rooms. I thought this was right up your street.
Lovely little reading room, isn't it, with that light coming in? That's really good.
And just through there, you can see the canal and then the Severn beyond there as well.
Yeah. Very nice.
Now, that's the canal that serves as a form of flood defence from the Severn that obviously flows beyond it.
Yeah.
So do you think you'd use this?
Yes. Yeah, very much so.
Read the paper down here.
David and Jane could also use this mezzanine floor as another sleeping area for guests, as there are only 2 bedrooms in this property as it stands. There is one other bedroom option, a TV room with a see-through viewing platform of the malting kiln below. It's on the first floor, which is where we're heading now. Now, what did you make of this?
Oh, very nice. My word.
Wow.
That's a lovely room, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. Fantastic.
Kitchen, dining,
All in
living, all in one, but divided.
Yeah.
Yeah. Separate reception areas, aren't there?
Yeah.
Certainly
Yeah,
for you.
definitely.
Yeah. Very nice indeed, isn't it?
You've got no problem with being open plan. I mean,
No.
The beams are lovely. The skylights are plenty of light in here, isn't there?
yeah. Now, I know you loved entertaining.
Yeah.
Look at this. This is a king's feast, isn't it?
Yeah. Seats a lot of people now.
And then, I mean, this is true entertaining. People are sat down at the table.
Yeah. That's nice size, isn't it? It's not too big. It's but lots of workspaces for you to prepare your food. It's really nice.
I think it's great, and it's I love the house. It's whether I see myself living here day to day.
At the moment, there isn't a great deal of storage space in this house. However, the current owners have sought planning permission to build a garage on the gravel driveway, so that's something to bear in mind. So,
There we are.
lovely house. Different, isn't it?
Very different.
Your reactions have been quite different. I can see you falling in love with the place, but then the practicalities going through your mind, especially, Jane.
Yes.
So, how much do you think this house is on the market for?
I'm going first today.
Okay.
5:30.
Okay.
Yeah, I was thinking around that mark. I'll go down to 525.
This place is on the market for offers around £499,950.
Okay.
Yeah, so there we are.
You guessed over, which is good.
Yeah.
There's also a couple of rooms you haven't yet seen, but I think you need to spend a lot of time here now discussing what works, how it could work maybe in the future.
Yeah.
See you in a mo. Just under budget, our mystery property is an 18th century malt house. While the layout is unconventional, it does give David and Jane the huge reception area they wanted, but only 2 bedrooms. It's located in the centre of a thriving village, although the golf club is a 20-minute drive away.
This house is just amazing. Very different to anything we would have looked at. Great big rooms, which is what we wanted. Upside down, I don't see that as necessarily a problem. I can see it would be great to come and stay here, but the practicalities of day-to-day living, I'm not sure. I just still need to get my thoughts together on that.
Jane's less keen on this house because of the practicalities, but for me, it's the sort of house that I've been sort of dreaming of, for years. We've always agreed on houses, but I think this is an area we might just differ.
Still smiling?
Still smiling?
Very much so.
I was worried this house would get you falling out.
Not quite.
Has split the camp now, hasn't it?
It definitely has.
Yes.
Well, I think now's a good time to find somewhere for you guys to have a chat, and then we'll meet up and talk everything through. Okay, shall we go?
Yeah.
Let's go.
The hard limestone slopes of the Cotswolds make up the largest area of outstanding natural beauty in the country, at 800 square miles. In the 1930s, nearly half of the region was covered in flower-rich grassland. Today, much of this precious habitat has gone. Flatter grassland has been converted to more commercially viable arable land. The little that's left is so rare it's being restored with the help of a herd of cows. I've come to one of these cattle-managed sites at Crickley Hill Country Park to chew the cud with National Trust Ranger Matt Stanway. Well, Matt, I've got to say, what an amazing part of the world this is to be working and farming. How untouched is some of this land then?
Because it's such steep slopes, what's left here, we're right on the Cotswold Escarpment.
Yeah.
We're high up and it drops away down to the Severn Vale. We can see that arable land down there. This is the sort of type of land which has never really been touched by the plough. So it's land which is, for centuries, it's been left untouched as grassland. And it's been grazed traditionally by either cattle or sheep. Traditionally, the Cotswolds, it was always sheep farming.
Yeah.
But for this type of land, the cattle are equally as good, if not better, because the cattle are less selective. So we've got short turf and we've got long turf.
You can see
and
that, actually,
and that gives a variety of habitat life for, say, the insects during the winter. They can hide in amongst the base of the stems here. And then we've got the very short turf, which means it gets very warm when the sun comes out.
Yeah.
And that attracts certain types of insect life to those type of areas.
As well as supporting the insect population, the limestone grassland is also home to a rich variety of flower species, including the purple orchid. Hard to imagine it now, but in the summer, this field is a carpet of flowers. Matt's taking me to a site with no munching cattle, and the difference is immediately clear to see. So, Matt, this hasn't been grazed on for how long?
Oh, decades. There's pictures of here in the 1930s, this bit of land, and it was grazed as tight as anything. The grass looked like a lawnmower had gone over it.
Really?
Yeah.
But then you've got trees here. I mean, that's a silver birch, isn't it?
That's right.
That's grown up, in the last 50 years or so?
Yeah. All the natural environment wants to do is to convert back from grassland to woodland.
Right.
It's a natural process, and what we're involved in is actually trying to halt that succession.
So what's wrong with just letting nature take its course and having woodland?
There's nothing wrong in woodland.
Yeah.
But the problem is that what's left of this grassland is so precious. There's so little of it left, that it's that which we need to preserve. That's the priority.
Rather than introduce local cattle to the Cotswold grassland sites, Matt is using a breed more suited to the slopes of Scotland. Now, Matt, I don't think I've ever seen cattle with those colours before. Where are they from?
They're called Belted Galloways. They're a breed, originate from Dumfries in Galloway in southwest Scotland.
So why did you choose this breed then?
Several reasons. One, because they're an upland hill breed and they're tough and hardy. They can live outside all winter. They have got short legs, they're stocky, so they can cope with these steep slopes.
Yeah, quite.
Which we're on one of them. And also the other one is their distinctiveness. Obviously you notice their belt, their big white belt.
Fantastic colouring.
They do stand out, they really do.
Yeah.
Some people used to call them humbugs and things like that.
I see you've got some recent additions. How old are those calves?
They're just a week old. We've got,
that all?
Yeah, they're just a couple of heifers. So we've got 20 cows calving each year.
I wish you the best of luck with all the calving you're going to have over the next couple of days. And I'll pop by next time I'm down.
Great stuff.
Thanks so much, mate.
Thanks, Johnny.
See you again.
Yeah, bye-bye now.
Some of the cows are sold for beef, which helps finance the grazing project. It's a fascinating, self-sufficient model of land management in the heart of the Cotswold Hills. Now, with house number 2 giving David and Jane pretty much to the letter what they told me thereafter, and today's mystery house potentially splitting the camp between head and heart, let's find out what their plans are. So, an interesting couple of days.
Very.
3 houses. What's your favourite?
Yeah, I think the second house we saw is our favourite, although the third one was very attractive and very lovely. I think, on reflection, Jane was right that the difficulties and the practicalities of it would mean that it would make it difficult to live in. But the second one was lovely.
You've talked him down, have you, Jane?
Head over heart
Yeah.
has made the decision. I think that really isn't a house that you can live in on a day-to-day basis, day in, day out, year in, year out. It's beautiful, absolutely stunning, but we don't think it's practical for us.
Not too quirky, really.
You're moving out of London. We've shown you 3 rural properties. The last one, the mystery house, was in a village. But the second house is rural still. It's in a scattering of houses within a village, if you like. Big leap for you. How do you feel about it now?
It's made us realise that we are social animals and we need to be, closer to activities and so on.
So, whilst the second property is your favourite, it doesn't sound like you're going to pursue it.
No, I'd say that's probably true.
Maybe because of what you don't need. You don't need a big sprawling house. You certainly don't need or want the outside space. That lends itself, in my opinion, to maybe a lovely country town, a market town, perhaps.
Yes, I think that's definitely brought that into focus for us.
Yeah. You kind of want the halfway, don't you? Out of London, but you still want chimney pots and people and things to do around you, don't you?
And activities, lots
Yes.
of different activities.
Well, it's going to be a very active retirement for you, isn't it?
Yes.
And that fully starts once you found a house. So I wish you both the very best of luck.
Thank you.
Well, let's face it, an escape to the country in its truest form isn't always for everyone. And it certainly seems like the big city of London has its claws in David and Jane. But I think these past couple of days has been a bit of a journey for both of them. I think they've come to realise that whilst a truly rural environment isn't for them, maybe a smaller step to perhaps a market town somewhere in the Cotswolds would be the ideal move. And let's face it, this beautiful region certainly has plenty of these beautiful towns to choose from. See you next time. If you'd like to escape to the country in either England, Wales, Scotland or Northern Ireland and would like our help, you can apply online at bbc.co.uk/beonashow.